Obama, c'est une idée, je crois. Et pour ces gens-là, l'idée d'espoir, l'idée d'opportunité, et ça existe ici en France et partout. There is a 77% turnaround in opinion here in France of America in the last 12 months. And that is extraordinary. The president here, as Mr. Lelouch had mentioned, the opinion of America is in the 70s, but the president, last poll we saw, has an opinion poll in France in around 82%. I was with the president last week in Washington, and I told him these statistics, and he said, "Can you send some of it back home?" And I wish I could. But the answer to the question is that it's been extraordinary for me at this moment in time to represent this president in this country, our oldest friend and ally, and the warm welcome that I've received has been extraordinary. So in the last year, I've had the great privilege of having the chance to meet people throughout French society at all levels, here in the residence and elsewhere, and to reaffirm just how deep and how strong the ties are between our countries. France is working by our side on everything that matters to us. If you're asking why we, together with Europe, haven't solved for Middle East peace in the last year, it's a complicated process.
Je pense moi aussi qu'il y a eu par rapport à Barack Obama des attentes irrationnelles, absolument excessives, avec cette interprétation européenne centrée uniquement sur le fait que les Américains avaient été capables d'élire un président noir, ce qui est une vision très très simplette de la part de gens qui n'avaient pas lu le discours de Philadelphie. Moi, je trouve ça extrêmement positif, dès le début de son élection, non pas parce qu'il est ce qu'il est, mais parce qu'il a voulu introduire un changement conceptuel radical, à la fois dans l'approche des questions internes, et c'est ce que vous disiez, monsieur l'ambassadeur, aussi bien sur la dimension sociale, l'environnement, etc., mais dans la relation avec the rest. Et là, il y a un changement radical, me semble-t-il, par rapport au concept de l'administration Bush.
There's always going to be disputes, is what I agree on. We have the same goals, the same objectives, the same values, but the tactics can sometimes differ. And that's normal in a friend relationship, and I think that's absolutely fine. In my recent discussions with President Obama, he reiterated to me what is plainly obvious to him, that his relations with President Sarkozy are fantastic.
Do you think the United States will be a superpower in 2050, and does anybody even want to be a superpower?
When you realize that America and the EU together generate as much as 60% of the world's GDP, America wants and needs a strong Europe for economy, for national security, for everything else. Think about the issues that are on our plate right now, from Iran to nuclear nonproliferation, to Iraq, to Afghanistan, Pakistan, global economic crisis, global warming. None of these issues, Middle East peace, can be solved by a sole superpower. I think that what President Obama has reemphasized is the need for a multilateral approach. Yesterday here at the residence, we had an event, and there were many journalists present, and the only question they wanted to talk to me about was Haiti. As Mr. Lelouch said a moment ago, it is difficult to find an area where America and France aren't in sync. And unfortunately, it appears that every time that something looks like it might be a crack in the amitié, everybody wants to focus on it. President Sarkozy could not have been more clear in his statement yesterday about how well things are working with America. Mr. Kouchner said that we are working hand in hand, and we are.
La conférence proposée par la France, acceptée d'ailleurs conjointement par les États-Unis, la France, et qui va entraîner d'autres partenaires, est indispensable précisément pour assurer la reconstruction de ce pays avec des moyens dans la durée, et que je crois qu'il est absurde d'introduire dans ce qui est une opération d'urgence l'idée d'une compétition, d'une telle compétition entre la France et les États-Unis ou l'Europe et les États-Unis.
The vote in Massachusetts is unfortunate last night, but the president has many ways of still passing the bill. It's complicated. If the House agrees to accept the Senate version of the bill, it will pass. And it is also, there is some talk in the Senate of actually trying to hurry up and pass the bill before the new senator from Massachusetts takes his office. So what I wanted to say is simply the congressional process is complicated. This is obviously a setback, but it is not a defeat. I believe health care will pass. But if for whatever reason it doesn't pass, I think everyone's hope, and certainly the hope of 30 million Americans, is that the opposition party has an alternative plan, has other ideas. Because if the objective is simply for Obama to lose, then America loses.